Hiya, it's Jack Fitzpatrick talking about my blog again. This time I'm doing my problem solving. So I'm talking about the problems that I had during my project, how I fixed them or how I didn't fix them, and how I tried to solve what I went through. So, as I was coming into my project, I decided what I was doing. I decided to do my freerunning game, didn't I? So as I looked through my project and struggled with certain things and didn't struggle with certain things, I'm going to take you through it. So, as I was rigging my character, because of the way I created him, the bone structure wouldn't set inside of his body, but it wasn't telling us that. It was not really exporting properly because, so I had created all the animations, spent loads of time doing that kind of stuff. But because I had created the body separately, like different parts of the body separately, and trying to put them together, in the end it works, but there was lots of little problems with it. Like stray vertices, that kind of stuff, little faces missing, that kind of stuff. So in the end, I rigged my character, modelled him, that kind of stuff. I put him together in Unreal, but the textures wouldn't go onto him as well. That was because I didn't UV map it correctly when I put it into Substance Painter. So I've linked videos of my progress in this, which I'll show you. So the problems I had was the main problem that I had was the rigging, because it wouldn't export. So I had to download the basic character that I put together, fix all the little issues that I just told you about, put him back together again, and then re-rig the character and put him in a T-pose, that kind of stuff, retexture in Substance Painter again, and then I brought it all back in from the house and put them together again, and it worked, but then it still wouldn't export the animations. So I looked at 3 different ways of exporting. I used the normal highlight file export, which wasn't working. Then I used a different one. I think it was like slide scale export, that kind of thing, and that wasn't working either. So I talked to my teacher and he showed me a different way. It's called game export, and it exports everything, and it worked. The first time it worked, but the animation wasn't playing at first. But that's because I don't think I actually saved the animation off properly. So I went back, saved the animation off properly by keyframing and setting, so I redid the animation again. This time when I did it again, it worked. The skeleton came in, the animation came in, so I did that kind of thing. Then I had to go through then, and because one of the other problems I had was because it took me so long to get this sorted out, I was behind schedule. So then I had to get everything done in such a short amount of time. I think it was 3 weeks. So I had to get all the audio working, I had to get my main menu working, I had to write up my blog about what was going on and what was wrong. I had to talk about pretty much everything I had done. I had so many problems with what was going on, so I just needed to elaborate on this as I scroll down. If I show you by here, these are all the little assets that I created. My character, his final rig for there, and his texture, the main, like the rusted bar textures and that kind of stuff, the girder, the grid, the metal wall, the wood pallet, the glass that I put on the roof. I had 2 more models as well. I had a metal bar, like the framework for the glass, and I also had a wall, but I didn't, because like I couldn't really put them in because like the metal bar was just literally a straight piece of thing with a texture that I'd taken from the starter content, and then the wall was just a wall that I took from the starter content. But I did change the material, so it wasn't exactly the same. I changed the sizing of the wall and the bit depth and that kind of stuff. So it wasn't exactly the same, but I couldn't really put that in as my work because it wasn't. So then, as I said before, I had to go through the animations, which is explained by you, and the texture of my character, which is a bit mad. See, I talked about the exporting problems and how I fixed it, but there, and videos. But with all the problems that I think that it was good that I found ways of solving them, picking up like the pieces that I'd fall behind. But I think my biggest problem that I need to watch for next time would be definitely my time management, because at first I was on time and it was like I was ahead of time, but because I got too laid back because I thought I was ahead of time and I had so many problems, I didn't account for my the problems that I was gonna have, that my time got dropped back and I was so far behind by then. So I need to give myself time just in case things go wrong,